our big Tesla. It's not electric. Big old fifth wheel. Whew. I think that caulking is compromised right there. And you can see, I want you to put more on, more on. See here? You can see that. This is what they added to it right there. So, I mean, you're just going to keep caking this up there, and it didn't work right here. I hope we don't have trouble down there. That's for sure. We've had this in storage. Got a hole right here. So, you can kind of see. Watch this. Get a little bit of lean. You can see like it's kind of all compromised there. That would, see how it's breaking away right there? See how it's breaking away right here? So, obviously we're going to strip all this out, but it generally don't stick, you know, to all of this. That's how you check it. You can get one of these tools. All it is a concrete joining tool. That's how you want to check your joints and stuff. So we do all these videos. These are not DIY videos. If you get some tips off them, you can get one of these tools, like I said, and go down and, you know, check all these. You want to check right here too. This is all butyl. That's all that is. So you want that caulked real well. You can see you can get water down inside here. See? I'm not even pushing on that thing. But you can see all the screws are all rusty. But that's because this insert trim, even this, we don't like this stuff. We don't use this stuff. I'm going to replace it. This snaps in the track. See how I can do that? See how it snaps in like that. But water can still get down in this track right here. See where it still get down in that track. So the stuff that we use, I'll show you in a second here. Well, I had a piece right here. It is gone. But the stuff that we use is going to snap in that track, and it'll snap over these. What keeps all the water out. So, but this one has had some troubles. You can see. This is what. So when we do these, we'll send you a care package because that's already compromised. It's coming up. It won't stick unless it's primed. I'm not even giving that any effort. But that's already loose. You need to prime all that. If you're going to put tape down, then you round the corners. Always round the corners. That's typically where they fail, right there on the edge. They typically fail right there. So you want to round the corners, and it's hard for it to breach it. And then again, you need to have all that primed. Put the tape down, and then you would put caulking. You want to prime the top of the tape right here, and then you put caulking all around the perimeter. That's how you would do a repair like that. This thing is pretty high. I mean, right now, this is already almost just as high as my rib cage. This is. This is a big boy. I think we got a little plumbing problem here. Cracked pipe right there. So I'm hoping it's not the pipe. No, the pipe looks good. It's just this here. Even if it was, we'll dig it out. It's more than likely we're going to end up redecking this thing. You know, it's got quite some camber on it too. A really good camber on it. Got some tape up here because we're protecting everything. We're going to be protecting the awnings. We're just setting up right now. They're just starting to set up our handrail, like the one we got over there. You can see we got a handrail over there. We're starting to set it up over here. So we just pulled this in a few minutes ago. So, but that's what they want you to do, is go around and put more on, more on. You know, there's something wrong with that system. You got to just think about it logically. I mean, why would they make a caulking? And that's just like a butyl latex. Why would they make a caulking that's going to fail every 3 to 4 months? Dicor, they exploit people's ignorance to roof systems. They really do, and it's a shame because everybody thinks they're doing the right thing. See how this isn't sticking? Everybody thinks they're doing the right thing by doing what the manufacturer says to do, but it's a scam. That Dicor, they want like 12 bucks, 14 bucks a tube. It's pretty expensive. When you figure you got to do this thing, they want you to do it every 3 to 4 months. That is crazy. That's their cash cow. That's why they do it. It's their cash cow. Let's get people to buy our product. Let's get people to buy our product. So, you know, and you go around, you keep doing it, it doesn't stick. The second layer usually doesn't stick to the first one. So you can see all this is all compromised. That's what they would want you to do, put more on. Why don't you just use a better caulking? So my pet peeve is, they know it doesn't work. Over all these years, why have they not tried to reformulate that and say, hey, this stuff doesn't work? And the kick in the pants is Dicor roof membrane is made by Carlisle Syntec. Great company. Carlisle Syntec, great company. They make commercial membranes. But they make this Dicor or Dicor roofing. I'm guessing this is Dicor. But they make Dicor roofing, and just give it to them. Here you go, take it. It's kind of like, Chevrolet or General Motors when they made the Chevy Chevette. Yeah, it was a car, and no one ever talks about it. We're not proud of it, but it was a car. And that's what this stuff is. So, you know, Carlisle just comes out from underneath it and says, hey, that's what you want, put it on there. But Carlisle makes a commercial roof lap sealant that you could use in lieu of this, right? But, you know, Dicor doesn't want you to use it, and they don't want to buy it from, Dicor either. Excuse me, from Carlisle. They just want to use the crap. So, so this is what I was talking about, how these things don't stick. You can see someone did try to put caulking on the edge, but it's not primed. And look how nice and clean it is under there. That is really clean. And I mean, you can just pull this right off of here. That's how easy it is. It needs to be primed, you know. That's gonna come right up, you know. Obviously shoulder damage, so I gotta rebuild that. And then, like I said, they just slobbered some of this stuff on here. But it's like a butyl, that's all it is. It's really like a butyl. We got another one over here, a couple more. You can see all the breaching we got right up in here, you know. So we got some more breaching right here. That's, so obviously, I mean, I'm showing you all the damage of this. I don't know how well screwed in that is either, and we're going to check that out. Shoulder destroyed right here. Just kind of giving you an overview of what we got, you know. And then we're working on there. I'm going to go back around this way. This air conditioner, it's slammed down there, and you can see the hump kind of dips right in there. So we're going to take a look at that. We put a curb on there. It's going to elevate it. But all your pollen and dirt and everything gets caught up inside there. Oh yeah, that is bad. Yeesh. Oh, it's not even stuck down. Some water under there, right? So you got a belly right here that goes, it kind of drops down right here. So this is compromised. But like I said, more likely we're going to redeck this anyhow. But all the pollen and the dirt gets caught up in here. And right up inside here is where the air conditioner drains all the condensation. But if that gets plugged, then it starts backing up, and it's going to get in your coach. So by putting the curbs on there, it'll drain properly. You won't have all that mess there. But boy, this is going to be an easy peel, I'm thinking. Look at there. So, we go around the other side. Oh, okay, yep. We're getting all our scaffold and all our safety rails and everything up. So someone obviously taped all that up. So you can see some of the issues we got here for sure. More tape. Hey, you wanna round those corners. I mean, that'll get you out of a hot jam, but it's not going to be something where I would even call it remotely lasting, you know. I do that and then I'd fix it. Like if it's raining, hey, I'll get that on there just to stop a leak if I have to. But as soon as I can, as soon as that rain stops, I'm going to do something else and fix it right. Get a lot of tape around those too. You can see the air conditioner right in the front, how tight it is. And it's jacked up in the back, and you can see that belly up underneath it. We're going to be getting rid of this antenna. We don't ever put these on. We don't ever put these on. There's a crank down inside that you operate to do the sealant, and it pushes, it clamps onto that shaft about 3/8 of an inch or so. And if we put a curb up on this, that shaft will be up inside the sealing cavity, and you won't be able to get the handle back on. But some people say you can change the shaft. I've heard all that, but I'm not going to operate on an old antenna. It just isn't worth it. We'll put a good antenna on there. So I don't know what he's got in mind, but we'll find one and we'll get one on there. So this is the same insert, just crappy stuff, you know. So that's just junk. And then I noticed this slide doesn't exactly go all the way in. Looks like it's still closed though, but it looks a little more in the bottom than it does. And got a dent over here. So I don't know if we can do anything with that. But got another dent over here. Looks like it might have been that tree that come down there, or a tree that hit it and kind of pushed it in. That's what it looks like. Been squashed in that way. Hopefully we're not going too fast with this camera. We'll try to slow down, because some people that say they got to take some Dramamine there, they'll make them seasick with this camera. And I'll admit, I watch some of my own videos and I get seasick. But I feel like as I'm doing all this, I'm not looking at the camera screen, I'm looking at what I'm doing, so sometimes I'm not pointing what I should be pointing to, right? So Here's another one of these issues here. I don't know how much moisture has gotten down inside here. Oftentimes we find like inside here is rotted right in there. And that right now, it sounds pretty good, but we don't know until we open it. Once we peel this off, we'll see. And then we're going to also remove this, because I don't want the water as it's traveling to hit here. I want the water to come off, so we're going to put our turn bar down here, and it'll come around that way. Now I'll remove it from the root system. And then other than that, it's a big old girl, that's for sure. That's for sure. So we're going to get to work, start tearing this apart, setting up our safety stuff, and then we'll give you some more pointers as we're going along, right? That's what we do. So don't be a moron and put more on. Don't do it. I got to get that thing that says moron with a circle and a slash and put it on t-shirts or something. That may be cool. Well, this is where the ladder was. This is the back corner. That's where the ladder handles were. That's all rotted out. Got a couple other spots around here too that we're trying to take the shoulder off. And you can see we got some up underneath here, the air conditioner. We got all that. Got a couple more spots here. We're going to redeck this. So we're going to have to go back with OSB because of the length on this thing here. Normally I go back with plywood, but they don't make plywood this long. Look at all this. And the other thing we're going to do is, we've got a radiant barrier, which that's okay. It doesn't really do very much in the application that it's at, because you're really, in order for that to be effective, you're supposed to have a 3/4 inch gap, according to what they say, the manufacturer says. But it may be doing something, but it's not working at full efficient capacity, so to say. But anyhow, we're going to cut that, recess it down just a little bit, and then because it's sitting on the trusses, and I'm sure it's not all glued together, and I need to have this all glued together. Look at this. So we're going to take all that out of there too. So all these shoulders are coming off right now, and once we get it all apart, like I said, we're going to tear it up. That'll give us a chance to check all these trunk lines, and then be able to make sure all the wires are good. We're going to be looking for compromised wires, and so I figured I'd give you a little view of where we're at so far. So we're about ready to take the decking off, and we got a screw here. There's your truss. No screws. No screws. There's another truss. There's one screw. No screws. See what we got here. There's the joint. You may have a couple more in here. Yeah, there's one there. We got one here. They only put screws on the joint. They didn't put any in the field at all. They put them at the end. They didn't put them in the field. We noticed that. I was just about to take them off. I said, hey, we got to take these screws out. Like, where'd they go? There isn't any. So you got this one here. You come up here. Nothing. No screws. Same thing on this one. This one, there's one screw right there. But as you scroll up, no more screws. That's what you get, you know. Since I would say the recession back in '07, when they were trying to cut corners because the economy was really bad, they started shaving a lot of areas, and basically it come down to, can we get 365-day warranty on it? And if they could, that's what they did, and that's it. But this is not a long-term, not long-term at all. So like I said, we're going to pull all this out. Then we look down inside here. We're going to be looking for some wires. I don't want to see if those wires are compromised at all, because usually wires come up through the wall and they run up into the attic area, if you will. And I want to check those out to make sure they're. And I also want to make sure, like when I take this off, I want to check this insulation especially, and especially over there. I want to make sure we don't have any mold or anything, and if we do, mold kill it, you know. So we're going to do all that. But I wanted to show you, they don't put any in here. Again, here's another one. There's nothing up in there, nothing at all. That's a shame. And I guess I'm figuring, well, it's because this coach really does have some good camber, but still, that should be fastened down. It should be glued together. These things rack and twist all over the place. You need to have this roof down well. It needs to be glued down because it'll take the stress off of the fasteners. So that's what we're going to do. Right now, we're getting the air off. We're getting the air off over here. So we're getting those down. So we're moving along. All right, you can see we got all the decking up and off. So some of these wires are so close, and we're going to refasten these. We'll put these plates in here. Then we obviously, you can see we cut this, recessed it down. So now we can actually glue to here. Let's see, there's oh, there's one screw hole there. There's another screw hole there. So they barely got any screws on this thing. But like I said, we're going to get this all tucked in like this, and we put the decking down, we'll glue it. So that's what we do. We went right along, and we checked for every wire, made sure everything was all protected. We checked all that. So they checked our trunk lines, checked everything, and we may even double check to make sure that we were getting the trunk lines. And maybe check on that now. So we've got one right here. See, we're going to retape that. That's what we're going to do. That's what's good about the camera. You know, when you show things, you need to make sure everything's all done. So we'll look for another braid, because that's one there, but it goes all the way down. So we'll check it all down here too, and make sure they're all set. Last thing you want to do is start having a, you know, like that one over there that's breached. If we don't correct that, then what's going to happen is that cold air is going to breach into the attic area here. I call that the attic area. But it will, and it's going to be hot, and that's going to be cold, and you're going to have condensation. So let's stop that problem right now. You know, and I don't want anything rotting out. And then eventually, if it gets worse, then you'll have a broken duct line. And then when you have a broken duct line, how do you fix it? Roof come up, ceiling come out. What you going to do? So we don't want to do either. That's what we're going to do. We're going to check every one of these stinking things. Whoa, Sam's getting that one. Check this. Here's another one for you. Check this one here. And I'm just looking for where it joins, and that would be the end of it. There we go, right there. So we're good on all of that. We got that one, just one down there. So we're going to get the tape on that on this other side. That one feeds all the way up here, so we got to get down to this one. That would be this forward AC. Let's see. Yeah, there's something there. That does have two going across. Some of them have one trunk line going up. Check this one too. Yeah, that's the right tape. See, these are all one unit. I want to make sure that even though I'm checking every one, I'm not taking for granted that they did one long piece. For all I know, they could have had, oh, we ran out, let's put one in there, and then you didn't know about it because you assumed they did their job, and they don't. That's how we're checking it all. Here, double check this joint right here. Hey, double check that joint, and then on the front here, on the front of this one, make sure this is where it ends. Make sure it's sealed good on this one here, okay? So you can see what I'm doing, so I'm going to go check all the others. I don't think you need me to show you every bay with this camera. We'll be back. All right, so we got all of this all decked. Everything's all done. Got it all glued. Going to run our sheet. We stapled bejesus out of this thing. So the staple guns and the stuff that we use is designed for sheathing. It will pull it down. There are some staples right there, and we soak them up. I mean, we are not stingy with those staples. If you start trying to put screws in these are real. This isn't OSB. Some of them are made out of OSB, but you imagine if you were to put a screw in every one of those, you'd split that thing right there, so you'd lose all your strength. Those staples will hold much better, especially with all this glue we got. So we're going to be good. So this is how we cut the radiant barrier. It was over this, but I need to glue to the truss, so I just cut it and tucked it back down. So it's going to be just as effective, if maybe even a little better than what he had. I don't know, but I don't know if I'd have a try to get some sort of meter to find out. But this other piece is just down on the floor over there because we want to get it out of the way. All right, so now we're going to put the piece on and we're going to staple it up. Let me show you what we got done so far since the last clip. All these joints where they come together, we sanded them down, make sure they were all on the same plane so I wouldn't have a bump here or there. Now our protective strips, we're going to take those like we got them right here. They'll go on there, boom, all the way across from here. So that's what we got. So we took the time to sand it down, glued this down, stapled it back down. We got all that ready. But you can see how we sanded all that. I'm trying to go a little slower with the camera if I can. Just not normally my personality to go slow with the camera. Well, cameras go slow, period. It can't sit still. So same thing, sanded. But we went through all of them. And then I think the last clip we were showing on the, we got the decking down, and then we also went and got the air conditioning duct lines done, electrical done, got all that squared away. So now once we get this, got the roof going on, and that's all we're working towards right now. So we've already got the passenger side done. Now we're on the driver's side. So we've got everything all glued. You can kind of see the glue on there. But now we're just going to roll it over. We're going to start getting our curves on here in a minute. Now we just run that big roller down. Go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now we're going to put the turn bar on. We've got all the boots welded. We've got everything welded. We've got vents going down. So this all, it needs to be primed. So you got two lines. That's the top of the rail, the gutter right here, and then that's our prime line. So I'm going to have just about, well, I don't know, maybe 7/16 or a ½ inch or so right there. But you have to be real careful because if you go too high, see how jaundiced that is? If you just smear all that on, you're going to see it all there. You're going to have to wash it off. It looks terrible. Down here, we're going to cut all that. So once we get that on, we put the turn bar on. The important part is to make sure you get a ring of caulking. We're using clear on this because it's black. You want to make sure they all have a ring. See how that's oozing out? That's what you want, all the way down. That'll seal all the screws. Then what we're going to do is strike all this down, and then we'll come back and we're going to go over it with white. But once we go over that, we'll hit it in a lick, and then we'll give it 2 more strikes. So that'll get struck down so it's smooth, and then we'll come back, do 1 strike more, and then when that cures, we'll do 1 strike more. But really, you got 3 strikes on here, and that's what seals it. We don't use butyl. Butyl will keep oozing out, and when the butyl keeps oozing out, it'll want to push that caulking out. So the caulking won't be able to cure in time because that butyl will always want to be kind of oozing out behind the back. So we don't use it. So now we still got obviously this side to finish. We got the other side over there to do. And we're moving along. All right, this is our second strike going on. So if you remember, we put the turn bar on. We had some clear. We knocked it down. Then I went back and I put this little tiny bead. I'm just trying to make sure all that's sealed. And now we're going back with this. You can see we got the tape. We're going to pull that right off. And then it'll look nice and clean. That's what we're going to do all around the coach. And we got, it's not Sunday. I just happened to miss Frank, so I put him on there if you hear him in the background. But I already got my 2 strikes on here. See how clean that is? That's what it's going to look like. We'll come back and just kind of get those little squirrels off once they cure out. It's easier. Still got another strike up here to do. So I got the first one, and like you said, we'll go along with another one. So it'll look nice and clean and crisp. That's what we want it to look like. Now we take the tape off, and we got a nice clean line. Look at all that nice clean line. Look ready. What we're doing now, this is your, see how I bring this back. This is our Skylight. And you can see we got some product up on there. I don't like that. That's all we're gonna do. It's better to wait for it to cure. See, I can go left-handed with this camera here. So we're just going to kind of clean that up, just like that, so it looks nice and clean. Just clean that up. We'll go around the whole thing. It looks much cleaner now. Also, you notice, see the rings around all these screws? If you put a Skylight on, you want to make sure you have that ring. You don't have that ring, even though you load it underneath. If you don't have that burping up, see that ring around there? Put a little more caulking on there. That is important. These are all weather screws too. These same ones you use for metal roofing. They got the little rubber gasket under there, and you want to torque them down. You don't want to plow them down. You just twist them in. You can even hand drive these. Nice and easy. Because the product that we use, this is an adhesive caulk. This is like liquid nails on steroids, designed to be outside. I could literally take all those screws out, fill those holes, and this thing still won't come off. So that's how strong it is. That's what we're doing. We'll clean up all our mess. We're going to go around here and we'll kind of get some of these little doodads off there so it looks nice and crisp and clean. So we'll do that like this one here. We'll just scrape that down. We just did it, so it's still kind of wet. We'll wait for it to cure out a little bit. It's easier to work with. and we'll wash some of that off there. So we want to doll it all up, get it ready for the prom. And once we take all this off, we'll check all this, make sure it's sealed. If it's not, we'll put a strike above this awning. There's your awning right here. So right there in the awning rail, we want to get that. We want to make sure that's tight. And we'll check them all. But we got to put slide out roofs on here. So overall, this roof is done. I got ACs to plop on there. My AC guy will be in here shortly to put that on. But overall, the rest of the roof is done. And but I do have 2 slide outs to do, so I may have to break this apart, move it, and then when I move it, I can, you know, I'll get another complete video afterwards, you know. But we got to stretch that scaffold on the other side. We got to stretch it apart on those 2 slide outs out there, and we're going to put a metal roof on those. All right, we did some repairs to this slide out. Had a little bit of rot, and this is our metal cover we're putting on. There's a flange inside here that goes in the back. That right there goes up, and when you set it down, it'll be up, so you can't get any leaks that way. This is turned down, it'll come down this way, and then you won't be able to, you won't have any water coming in at all. All right, we are done with our big Tesla. We got us a nice aluminum roof on there. If you look real close, you're going to see these little trips. That's to trip the gasket. It's going to trip that gasket on there. See, there's a black one there. Another one there. And what that does is it's going to trip the slide out gaskets. The slide out gaskets, sometimes they'll, just from going in and out as the slide is, it will, one will get flipped, the top will get flipped first, and then the sides come in, and what happens is water can get in that way. So we put these trips on there that will force them to trip when they're supposed to. So they're always aligned right, whether they're going in or out. So we want to make sure that they're not going to leak when the slide out is closed. So everything's all been sealed. We did the same on, there's another slide out in the front. We did the same exact thing on it. So here's our stamp on here, RVRI, September 20. So now we can monitor, make sure the roof's doing all right. You can see we got these special boots we made up for the ladder. Get all that squared away. Then that's, well, the ladder handle. And we got our strikes all the way down here. So this is, so when you put the primer on, you know, you have to be real close to where that caulking is going to be. If not, you can barely see a little bit of jaundice in there, but you'll have it. So then you see we replace the insert trim, and we got our ACs on with our stands in the back, and get our plumbing done right here. And these are all, we don't sell any of these boots, we don't sell any of the curves, we don't sell anything at all actually. We don't sell the roofing, and these aren't DIY videos. We put them together so the customer can see all the work that we did. That's the whole purpose of it. So then again, you can see the curves we got here, got our counter flash. Then the same on the front of the air conditioner, you can see we got a counter flash on there. And that's so when the water rolls down like this, it's going to go up underneath our counter flash right there. And there's a foam gasket on the bottom of the AC. I don't want it to trickle around and get into that gasket, so we made sure it's going to be lower. We fabricated some stands up. This is a weird looking, it's a 360, I guess. It's supposed to do Wi-Fi and a whole bunch of stuff. So we dropped a wire down inside so we could, I guess there's another component that goes up in there. We don't wire anything. We just bring it up and put the wire to it, but we do not wire anything to the coach in regards to, like, you know, any electrical, or if I gotta, we don't run new circuits, we don't do any of that. We'll drop it for you. If you have solar, you want to put solar on here, we'll make all that up so you can mount it. But we're not going to hook up your solar. We don't do any of that. So I'd hate to hook something up and then find out it either went to the wrong circuit or that circuit couldn't handle it, and it's just a little bit more to it. And I don't want to get into RV wiring. So but that's about the size of our Tesla here. So let's see if I got a sample of this insert trim. I thought I had a piece to find a piece. Here it is, right here.
This is our insert trim. So this is what normally comes with it. And this just snaps in, as you can see. Yeah, that just snaps in. We don't use that. We use this one here has a groove in it. And it slides in the track and over the track. This is the same one, this is the black. And again, we don't sell any of this here. This is all special order anyways. I had to buy 2 miles of this stuff. You know. But it's the same as the black that we have here. So now I feel confident knowing that that's sealed as best as we could get it. Everything else is obviously sealed all around. So, but that's now the roof system is going to be. This is Carlisle Syntex 60 mil structured membrane TPO, and here's a piece of it right here. I'll bring that roller down so you can work on that other roof over there. It's a heavy roller, but this is what it is. It's a structured membranes, TPO, which is a thermoplastic. And then the structured means there's a weave in it. So they have like a mesh and a weave in there. It gives it strength against hail, against tree branches, and if there ever was a hole that got through it from a tree branch, you can weld a patch on it. And that's a lot better than the EPDM rubber, where you can't weld all that. You have to glue. And eventually that glue just separates and falls apart. That's why we don't like those systems. But that's our Tesla. We appreciate you watching, and see you on the next one.